Yo, what's up guys? We're here to check out the new card, Soothing Burial. It's a new version of Foolish Burial. I wouldn't say it's as good, but it can be really good in certain decks, and we'll go ahead and talk about that in a second. But anyways, they hyped up this card a lot. In fact, they didn't even reveal the name or the effect, and then they finally revealed it. So they were hyping it up to be really good. But anyway, Soothing Burial, normal trap card says you can only activate a card with this card's name once per turn. This first effect is to send one monster from your deck to the graveyard, but you cannot activate cards or the effects of cards with that name for the rest of this turn. So obviously, first off, it's a trap card that's going to be a lot slower. A lot of decks are not even interested in playing this because it's not only going to take you one turn to basically set this up, but then right after you activate it, you can't do anything. So you basically are waiting for your opponent to go, let them do whatever they want. You're activating this card, you're sending that card to the graveyard, then the following turn, then you have a combo. But certain decks can really make great use out of that. For example, Paleozoic would be an excellent example of why this card could be better than Foolish, because not only can you send the Toad, but then also you can follow up with a play during, let's say, the end phase, because you can obviously activate another trap card, therefore being able to continuously go off. And then again, you're waiting to set up, and it's not like if you're playing Paleozoic, you're looking to OTK your opponent anyways. I was also thinking about some of like the meta stuff, and honestly there really isn't too much that you'd want to do in like any like Chaos Dragon variant. Yeah, you could send one card. You have to wait, and that's the problem that I would see with this. However, if you are willing to play Orcus and play multiple copies of Symbol Skeleton, and then also go for Babel, and then also maybe potentially just going for a Dingirsu on their turn, then you can maybe reattach a Symbol Skeleton that you send to the grave with, let's say, this effect. Yeah, keep in mind you won't be able to activate that effect of Symbol Skeleton because it cannot be activated, but you can use other cards basically to manipulate other cards, is what I'm trying to say. Another example that you can maybe use it in, I know Lightsworn isn't the most of meta of things, but sending a Judgment Dragon to the graveyard and then maybe following up with like a Beckoning Light or, let's say, Monster Reincarnation, you could definitely try to set up other plays, although at the end of the day, you're just realistically looking at a slower version of Foolish Burial in most cases. There isn't really too much other utility where it's like, oh, if you happen to have this amount of trap cards, you can do this. Again, I think trap cards are just bad in Yu-Gi-Oh! For the most part. Again, most competitive like decks will not be interested in playing this card. Again, more slower decks like Paleozoic, excellent. I think this is basically just made for Paleozoic. I heard a couple of people talking about maybe in Burning Abyss. I think that there are much better options. This is Fiend Griefing. Yeah, you could argue that your opponent might not have a target for you in this case, for you to shuffle it back from the graveyard into the deck, and then you can send one. But it doesn't have that downside of like you can't activate anything. So the problem with this card is too much for I think most decks to run. Again, Paleozoic's basically the only deck I would say that would realistically use this, and it would be better for them, let's say, than Foolish. But I'm curious to see if you guys have any other decks that would be able to make really great use of the new Soothing Burial card. But again, I don't think it's absolutely terrible, and again, it's just too slow for most decks to realistically utilize. Again, in Orcus, you want to go for the explosive turn 1 play, and if you have this, again, you can set up for maybe a future play or like reattachment, or again, it's just too slow. I think it really just shows how fast Yu-Gi-Oh! Has gotten as a game. I think another thing that this card could have really used over here on the effect, which I saw that was posted, which was that if it only stopped all of those monsters' names from both players, but it says you cannot activate cards. If it said neither player can activate cards or effects, and I was like, ooh, then that would be really good. It'd basically be like a surprise, like Nobleman of Crossout, right? Yeah, your opponent activates a card, and you're like, oh wait, hold on, I'm gonna activate this. I'm sending mine to the grave, and then you can't activate any of those effects. Like that would have been so good. They missed out on a huge opportunity. If especially like let's say Orcus Mirror Match, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and send a Symbol Skeleton to the graveyard. I'm set up for my future play, or a Harp Horror, it doesn't matter. I'm set up for my future play, and then I'm also stopping your play. It would have been so amazing. I really, or even if it had like the effect of sending 2 monsters, or even 3, but yeah, it would negate their effects either permanently or, you know, it would have some other downside. But like, it's literally like a Foolish, but it's a trap card, and then you can't activate cards or effects. Like when you Foolish something, you want to go for it that turn. And again, I think that that's the problem. Even if it was just send 1, it's already a trap card. Again, a lot of people will be not interested in playing the card, except for Paleozoics. But anyways, it's not a bad card, and I think there was a few people saying that, like, yo, Foolish is getting banned on the next ban list because, well, this card is basically the same thing, and they do that all the time. They'll bring back a card that's similar, like Fishborg Archer Blaster. They'll, like, print a new card, and people are like, why would you print this out? We already have this. And then they go ban the other card, and then people are like, all right, I guess I'll go ahead and play the new card, even though it's usually so nerfed that it's not even worth it. But anyways, you guys can let me know your thoughts on what decks would make great use out of this, or if there's any crazy combos. I'd like to know it in the comment section below. Again, Paleozoics are probably the only ones going to be using it. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video as well as the discussion. If you're new here and you want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh content as well as new Yu-Gi-Oh cards when they get announced, hit the subscribe button, turn on that bell, and you'll definitely see it. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and peace.